This is a hard thing to admit, and I don't like saying it, but a lot of the pain in my life is pain I keep alive myself. Not all of it, not the stuff that happened to me, but the stuff I keep replaying, the stuff I refuse to let go of, the stories I keep telling myself. That part is on me. I've noticed something about suffering. It doesn't always come from what happens. It comes from how long you hold on to it. I'll think about something that hurt me weeks ago, months ago, sometimes years ago. A rejection, a mistake, something I didn't say, something I should have done differently. And every time I replay it, my body reacts like it's happening again. Same tight chest, same regret, same anger. Nothing new is happening, but I'm reliving it anyway. That's me perpetuating it. No one else is doing that. The event already passed. The pain didn't have to stay, but I kept it. I think part of the reason we do this is because suffering becomes familiar. It gives structure to your thoughts. You know who you are when you're hurting. You know what to expect. Healing feels unknown. Letting go feels like losing a part of yourself. So you cling to the pain because at least it's predictable. I've also realized there's a weird comfort in suffering. Not enjoyment, comfort. Because suffering gives you a reason to not move forward. As long as you're hurting, you don't have to take risks. You don't have to try again. You don't have to be vulnerable. Pain becomes a shield. You can say, I'm not ready. I'm still dealing with stuff. I'm healing. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes it's just avoidance. I've caught myself doing this, using my past as an explanation for why I'm stuck in the present. And the longer you do that, the more your identity becomes tied to pain. You stop asking, what do I want now? And start asking, what hurt me before? That keeps you backward facing. I think this is why some people never really move on. Not because they can't, but because they won't release the meaning they attach to the pain. The pain proves something to them, that they were wronged, that they loved deeply, that they tried. And letting it go feels like erasing that proof. But here's the part that's hard to swallow. You can honor what you felt without reliving it forever. You can acknowledge pain without letting it define your future. Suffering stops being useful after it teaches you something. After that, it's just weight. And I think a lot of us are carrying weight we don't need anymore. Not because we're weak, but because no one taught us how to put it down. I'm starting to realize that some of my suffering continues because I keep choosing it. Not consciously, not intentionally, but through rumination, through self-blame, through replaying old versions of myself. And admitting that is uncomfortable, because it means relief isn't coming from the outside. It means at some point, I have to stop reopening the wound, even if it feels unfair, even if it feels unresolved. Because continuing to bleed doesn't make you more honest. It just keeps you hurt. That's what I'm wrestling with right now. I think the reason letting go is so hard is because it feels like betrayal. Not of other people, of yourself. You go through something painful and it changes you. It hardens you in places, softens you in others. And at some point, that pain becomes proof. Proof that it mattered. Proof that you were hurt. Proof that you didn't imagine it. So when someone says, just move on, it feels insulting. Like they're telling you that what you went through wasn't real, or wasn't serious enough to leave a mark. But that's not what letting go actually is. Letting go isn't pretending it didn't hurt. It's deciding that the pain doesn't get to keep deciding your future. And that's where things get uncomfortable. Because once you stop suffering, you lose an excuse. You lose the story that explains why you're guarded, why you're distant, why you don't try. And without that story, you're exposed again. You're responsible again. That's scary. I've noticed that sometimes I keep wounds open on purpose. Not consciously, but emotionally. I'll replay conversations, imagine different outcomes, rewrite moments in my head where I finally say the right thing or get the closure I never got. But none of that heals anything. It just keeps me stuck in a loop where the past feels more alive than the present, and the present suffers because of it. New opportunities feel smaller because they're competing with old pain. New people feel less safe because they're paying for someone else's mistakes. I don't mean to do that, but it happens. That's how suffering spreads. It doesn't stay where it started. It leaks into everything else. And then there's resentment, that quiet, low-level bitterness that builds when you feel wronged and unheard. Resentment feels justified. It tells you you're allowed to feel this way. And maybe you are. But resentment doesn't protect you. It poisons you slowly. It keeps you looking outward instead of forward. I think one of the hardest truths is realizing that no one is coming to resolve things for you. Not the person who hurt you, not time, not understanding. At some point, you either carry it forever or you put it down yourself. And putting it down doesn't feel victorious. It feels empty at first, because suffering filled space. It gave your thoughts direction. It gave your emotions something to chew on. When it's gone, there's silence. And silence can be terrifying if you're not used to it. That's why some people go back to pain even when they've healed a bit, because pain feels familiar. Healing feels like standing in a room with no furniture and no instructions. You have to build something new. And building requires effort, risk, and vulnerability. Which is ironic, because those are the same things suffering pretends to save you from. I'm starting to understand that holding on to pain doesn't make me loyal to my past. It just keeps me stuck in it. And there's a difference between honoring what you went through and living inside it. One is respectful, the other is self-inflicted. I'm not fully there yet. I still catch myself reopening old wounds when I'm tired, lonely, or unsure. But now I can at least see it happening. And seeing it is the first crack in the cycle. I don't think most people choose to suffer. I think they just never question what they're still carrying. So I want to ask you something. Not to judge yourself, just to notice. What pain in your life is already over, but still feels active? Is it something someone said to you that you keep replaying? A rejection you never got closure from? A mistake you won't forgive yourself for? A version of your life that didn't turn out how you hoped? And be honest, what does holding on to it give you? Does it protect you? Does it justify staying guarded? Does it give you a reason not to try again? I'm asking because sometimes pain stays not because it's unresolved, but because it's useful. Useful as armor. Useful as an explanation. Useful as a reason to stay where you are. And letting go means losing that shield. It means stepping forward without a story to hide behind. That's terrifying. I'm not saying you have to drop everything at once. I'm not saying healing is linear or clean. I'm just saying if you feel like you're stuck in the same emotional place, it might not be because life keeps hurting you. It might be because you keep reopening the wound. And realizing that isn't self-blame. It's self-responsibility. Because responsibility means you have a choice. You don't have to forget what happened. You don't have to excuse it. You don't have to rush healing. But you can ask yourself, is this pain still teaching me anything? And if it's not, maybe it's time to stop feeding it. I don't have perfect answers. I'm still figuring out how to sit with pain without becoming it. But I know this much. Suffering that teaches you something is valuable. Suffering that repeats itself is optional. If this hit close to home, you're not alone. And if you're ready, you don't have to carry it forever.